evidence has been recovered.
The specific allegation on the aid of Sanjay Singh is that Mr. Tyagi was in what the ED is calling a quid pro quo, was actually given a stake in the business run by a certain gentleman called Amit Arora. Amit Arora, as I already mentioned, was further introduced by Dinesh Arora. Dinesh Arora is the testimony that today the ED is using to arrest Sanjay Singh. At some point, will the Aam Aadmi Party address all of these specific allegations? Because so far, to each of my questions, you've said it's not true.
It is. And that's the reality of it. Barkha, I can make 10 statements against you and say that you have met with 10 people and you have collected money from 10 people. Will you be able to show, if something like this has never occurred, the person who is accusing has to prove the evidence. You are innocent until you are proven guilty. And that is the job of the investigative agency. The unfortunate thing in our country is that we have so many instances of scams happening, big industry houses very close to the Prime Minister indulged in scam. But the entire ED and CBI for the last 15 months is investigating a completely fictitious case of Delhi liquor policy, where there is not even one. And very interesting fact of the Delhi excise policy, I'll tell you. This is an instance of where a scam is alleged, but the revenue of the government has increased. So what the previous excise policy, the collection of the government was 6,000 crores. Under the new excise policy, it was to be 9,000 crores. Yet you are saying that no, some major scam has happened, some 100 crores, but we cannot find anything. But you know what? XYZ person said XYZ thing, so we will now arrest everybody and put them in jail for the next, we don't know how many months or years. So this is the reality and how the ED has become a joke. 5,000 cases in the last 9 years since Mr. Modi became the Prime Minister, conviction rate of 0.5%. Barkha, in any other part of the civilized world, an agency like this would have been shut down, because this is nothing but a political tool where 95% of all cases are only on opposition leaders. So the reality of the ED is showing is in its record, in the way the investigation is happening, and the fact that not an iota of evidence has come out after all this raids of more than 1,000 raids so far.
I don't know if you had a chance to see the Supreme Court today in another context, in another case, being quite scathing about how they expected the enforcement.
In the 3M case.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm aware about the 3M case. And so many, if you look at it over the last 9 or 12 months, there are many such harsh statements against the practices used by ED. And this is a very convenient ploy that the ED uses, that maine aapko summon kiya, I do the investigation, but then I said that you're not cooperating. Why you're not cooperating? Because you're refusing my allegation. It is ED's job to prove the allegation. It is not ED's job to threaten and say that.
And one of the things the Supreme Court said is that the grounds of arrest must be furnished in writing to the accused at the time of arrest. I'm assuming, of course, this judgment only came today, and this arrest also happened today. So it'll be intriguing to see what happens next. Let me ask you this.
Sorry, just one thing. So far, Barkha, from the statement given by Mr. Sanjay Singh's wife after his arrest, not a single piece of evidence was recovered. Not a single reason was given why Mr. Sanjay Singh was arrested. And this shows that this is the true character of Prime Minister Modi's investigative agencies. No, nothing will be communicated, no reason will be given, but we will arrest you.
Now, Arvind Kejriwal, in his comments after meeting with the family of Sanjay Singh, specifically targeted the Prime Minister, as have you right now. In fact, I think Mr. Kejriwal said that the Prime Minister is corrupt. I'm quoting him verbatim. He himself has a corruption to answer for, and so on. This is his exact quote: PM Modi is the most corrupt Prime Minister of our country after independence. Why are you and your colleagues targeting the Prime Minister? Why is this about the Prime Minister suddenly?
It is not about the Prime Minister suddenly. It has always been about the Prime Minister. You think about the number of evidences or clear involvement of the Prime Minister and his party in so many cases have come out. I'll first start by so many of the opposition leaders. Hemant Biswa Sharma, he used to be in Congress. BJP released a booklet calling him the kingpin in the corruption of the Louis Burger scam in Assam. BJP released the toolkit. 1 week after they released the toolkit, Hemant Biswa Sharma joins the BJP. All allegations dropped. Very recently in Meghalaya, we saw that BJP alleged that the sitting CM is the most corrupt CM in the history of India. After the elections, he became their partner. We saw the instance of NCP, 70,000 crore. Prime Minister said that 70,000 crore ka ghotala kiya hai NCP ke leaders ne. Ajit Pawar was called Chakki piecing. We remember all these dialogues that were given by the tallest BJP leaders. A week after that, NCP becomes part of the BJP government. Ajit Pawar becomes the finance minister. So you see this kind of trend. You see the entire question around the Adani matter, where tens of thousands of crores of unaccounted money is round tripped into India. No questions are being asked. No investigation even ordered. We heard about allegations in Karnataka where BJP was called the 40 percentage commission government. The leaders of BJP and even contractors officially wrote, first time in the history of India, contractor is saying ki I have committed corruption and the sitting CM is not acting on it. Modi stays quiet. He doesn't do any investigation on his government. ED offices are opened, Barkha, only in opposition states. No ED office today exists in Gujarat, in Madhya Pradesh, in Uttar Pradesh, but they are being opened in Chhattisgarh, they are being opened in Rajasthan, Delhi, Punjab. So I mean, ये खुलेआम गुंडागर्दी. There is now nothing left to hide. The face, the face of Mr. Modi is out in the public. That he is definitely one of the most corrupt people, but he will go after opposition leaders without any evidence, only because there is a draconian law such as ED, where for weeks and for months, eventually we believe that justice will be served, and that is why we will fight this matter till the end of time. But in the process, obviously there will be punishment that the opposition parties will face, but we believe the people of India are watching this and they are with us. Nobody wants India to become a banana republic, which it is now going, it is inching towards.
That's a strong thing to say. That's a strong thing to say, Jasmine, that India is inching towards
Absolutely.
becoming a banana republic.
It is. It is. No other. Tell me one other country, one other self-respecting democracy where when 95% of all cases by investigative agencies are under the opposition parties. Tell me instances where a sitting government's the authority is being completely challenged through governors and lieutenant governors, where an elected CM is told that you will not pass any decisions like that have happened in Delhi. So I don't need to, I think, repeat, where media has been attacked day in and day out. Yesterday, what did we see? That, on a matter where they said that no, China funded some media agency and therefore we will arrest everyone. On the actual matter of China, the prime minister is silent. He will not face China, but he will go and address and he'll go and attack journalists who are probably writing against him. So, everything points in a direction that here's a dispensation which is in fear of losing its power. We have seen that despots and authoritarian leaders, before they relinquish power, they will try to stamp out any voice of dissent, and that's precisely that what we are seeing today in the country.
As you said, you will have to make a case before the people and the courts. Let me ask you finally on the politics on the political implications of this. We've seen a slew of opposition leaders actually express solidarity today with the Aam Aadmi Party. But for the party to have lost three key leaders to jail, Satyendra Jain, Manish Sisodia, and now Sanjay Singh, two things there. This is the party that was birthed by an anti-corruption movement. Now you find yourself embroiled in a corruption scam. One, what does that do to your political reputation? Two, what does it do to your day-to-day morale, the cadres, the spirit? How much has it hit you?
Let me correct you, Barkha. First, we are not embroiled in a corruption scam. There is no scam. There is a retribution and the price that Aam Aadmi Party is paying for being honest and being the fastest growing party in India. Plain and simple. And that is the reason why we feel that at the end of the day, the people of the country will support us and we will emerge out of this stronger. As far as you say 2 or 3 top leaders, definitely they are amongst the tallest leaders. But this is a transient phenomenon because there is no scam. The truth is on our side, and we have faith that the courts will eventually give justice. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. But the truth is on our side, and as an honest political party, we know that this is the price for honesty is steep, and we are willing to pay this price.
I will ask you, though you've been asked several times again, but for people in the audience who may not know, you said there is no scam. Don't call it a Delhi liquor scam. You did change guidelines. You did go back on your own guidelines. Why did you do that if you thought that they were kosher?
Two things. First and foremost, the old liquor policy, Barkha, was known to be something that encouraged cartelization and reduced the revenues of the government. The collection on the old liquor policy in 2020, before the new policy came about, was 6,000 crores. Once the new policy was announced and the cartelization was completely removed, the auctioned amount that the auction for licenses of the Delhi liquor policy went for 9,000 crores. 50% rise in revenues in one single year. And that is what threatened BJP and many of its people who were involved in the previous cartel and who made sure that the policy could never be implemented. We know that Delhi, the multiplicity of agency and decision making is a challenge in governing Delhi. And the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi decided that the new policy, I will not allow it to be implemented until the CBI investigation happens. So we welcome the investigation. There was no way to implement that policy until the investigation is over. And that is the reason we never said that there's anything. We stand today by the fact that the liquor policy or the new Delhi excise policy is the best policy to serve the interests of people of Delhi. It had to be scrapped because the BJP did not allow it to be implemented.
All right. Finally, what next for
We
you
will
as a
fight
party?
every single year that Aam Aadmi Party has been existent. We have been under attacks by the BJP and by forces that do not want to see an honest political alternative in India. Our fight goes on. It goes on even more fiercer, knowing that today it is the Aam Aadmi Party that scares BJP and Mr. Modi the most. We know that eventually the love of the people and for the work that we do, we are getting appreciation from all parts of the country. And we will fight this. We'll fight it in the house of the people, on the streets, and we will fight it in the courts.